I knew something was wrong the night the house smelled like oranges. Not the cheap dish soap we used, but a new, expensive orange. Bitter at the edges, like perfume. Lena never wore perfume. She said it gave her headaches. I saw it on her coat collar. She noticed me noticing and said, "They were spraying something at yoga." Then she laughed, a light, thin laugh, and went to shower with the fan on full blast. But it didn't begin with the perfume, of course. It never does. It started with a small, drifting distance. The way she'd pause before answering me, as if she had to remember my name. The way her phone was always turned face down on the table. It began with a new gym bag, a new schedule, a new way she'd hold herself in the mirror when she thought I wasn't looking. I told myself it was just a rough patch. Work was stressful. Her mother was sick. We hadn't taken a vacation in years. I tried to be patient. I cooked. I cleaned. I waited. Then, in March, I found the receipt. It fluttered out of her coat pocket like a little white surrender flag. A boutique hotel, not 10 blocks from our apartment. 2 wine glasses, 2 breakfasts. The date was a Tuesday. She was supposedly working late. Standing there with that thin paper in my hand, my mouth went cold. For a moment I could have screamed. I could have smashed the glass bowl on the counter. Instead, I slid the receipt into a book on our shelf. The sun also rises. Because why not be a little on the nose? And I went to wash my hands. They suddenly felt dirty. That weekend we watched a crime show and ate takeout. She leaned against me, texting with her thumb hidden from view. I wanted to ask, "Is it him?" But he didn't have a name yet. She wanted mint chip ice cream, so I went out into the cold to get it. On the walk home, I decided that if I was right about this, I wouldn't lose my temper. I wouldn't become a statistic. Whatever I did, it would be clean. The name came easily after that. I didn't need to snoop through her phone. Life starts leaving you crumbs when you start paying attention. He was the new trainer at her gym. His name was Rafe. It sounded like a name picked out of a catalog. I met him by accident when I went to surprise her after class one day. He had that perfect tan New Yorkers shouldn't have in March, and a smile like a billboard. He called me bro twice. When Lena saw me, she was surprised, then overcorrected with a huge hug. His eyes just slid right off us, like oil off a hot pan. I started taking long walks in the early mornings because I couldn't sleep anyway. You learn a lot about your life just by walking through it slowly. One day I saw our reflection in a florist's window, me in my old coat, Lena in a new scarf I'd never seen before. I thought, we look like actors hired to play a married couple. I remembered our wedding toast. My best man said, "May you always delight in the ordinary." And now, even the extraordinary felt ordinary, in the worst possible way. I could have confronted her then, sat her down and demanded the truth. But if I forced it out of her, the admission would be cold and transactional. I'd end up arguing about details I didn't want to picture. I wanted the truth to be undeniable, not negotiated. So I started planning quietly, like packing an emergency bag. I called a lawyer my friend recommended. Her name was Priya, and she had the calm of someone who's heard every version of this story. I told her I didn't want to ruin Lena. I wanted a clean cut, like a surgeon. Priya told me what documents I'd need, what accounts to untangle, and how to make sure our dog Murphy stayed with me. She used the word strategy, and I realized that the kind of revenge I could live with looked more like a chess game than a bar fight. I made a folder on my laptop called Taxes 2021 and saved everything: screenshots, the hotel receipt, a photo of the perfume bottle. I diverted my salary into a new bank account. I told only 3 people: my lawyer, my best friend Bennett, and my sister. The night I set it all in motion, it was raining. Lena was wearing her black dress. She asked if she looked okay. I told her she looked beautiful. I had told her we were going to an early birthday party for me at our friend Mina's bar. In the cab, she leaned against the window and said, "I'm tired." I just said, It'll be quick. The back room was full of our friends. Mina, my friend who owned the bar, was behind the counter. Bennett and my sister were there. I'd asked for no balloons, no cake. On the big screen above the bar, Mina started a slideshow I'd made. It started with our life together. Murphy as a puppy, a sunburned vacation, our wedding. Everyone was clapping and smiling. Lena's hand found mine. Then the pictures shifted. An odd receipt here. A screenshot of a calendar entry there. No faces. I didn't need them. Finally, a photo of the hotel's awning in the rain. The room went silent. It was a physical silence. Lena stiffened next to me. Then the door opened. Rafe walked in, slick with rain, and stopped short when he saw the screen. Mina, who is not a sentimental person, set a single whiskey on the bar for him and stepped away. Lena turned to me, her mouth half open. "Ethan," she said, and in my name I finally heard my answer. I took a deep breath. "I found out," I said simply. "I've known for a while. I asked you here because I didn't want the truth to be something we argued about in a kitchen at midnight." She started to cry, real crying. Part of me wanted to comfort her, out of old habit, but I kept my hands at my sides. Rafe took a step toward us, but Bennett put a hand out and just said, "Not tonight, man." "I've already spoken to a lawyer," I said, my voice steady. "I've moved my money. I'm filing tomorrow. Murphy is coming with me. I'm not here to humiliate you, Lena. I'm here to end this properly." Every line was rehearsed. I'd said them to my reflection until my face went numb. She whispered, "I'm sorry." And maybe she was. It didn't matter. I nodded. "I believe you," I said. Then I added, "And I don't care." I handed her an envelope with the legal papers. It was all business. And that, more than any slideshow, was the revenge. Not drama, not shouting. Just the clean refusal to play the part of the wrecked husband any longer. I left with Murphy and a bag I'd had packed in my car for a week. The rain had slowed. In the rearview mirror, the bar's neon sign blurred and vanished. At a red light, Murphy put his head on my shoulder and I laughed. The light turned green exactly when I needed it to. At my new place, a rental with ugly curtains and blessedly clean walls, I sat on the floor. The quiet was different now. It was a quiet that held room for whatever came next. People say revenge doesn't fix anything, and maybe they're right if you want to rewind time. But for me, my revenge was the line I drew, and the way I stepped over it. It was knowing I hadn't wasted myself on rage when I could spend my energy on leaving. I finally slept, and in the morning the air smelled like coffee, dog shampoo, and rain drying on the windowsill. Ordinary things, old and honest. The kind of things you can build a life around again. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that there is a way forward. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about finding your way back.